Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Vijana Vallabha Girivaradari Vijana Vallabha Girivaradari Yashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Yashoda Nandana Braj Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Manachari Yamuna Tira Manachari Madhava Kunda Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jayo Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare Gora Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Hari Bo, Gora Hari Bo. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nanta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Om Jnanatimidandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurum tasmai Shri Guruve namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Gena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Gurun Shri Yuta Parakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Vitam Tam Sajivam Sarvetam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Brindavanishwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyeva cha patiranam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. All together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So Hare Krishna, everyone. Prabhupada ki jai. So I'm very grateful and honored to be able to serve today, giving class on the auspicious occasion that we'll be celebrating the Flower Festival. And so we'll therefore be speaking a little something on that topic matter. Let's see. I will attempt to share my screen. Everyone in the temple will not be able to see, but those online will. So we're going to read a famous verse everyone is familiar with, which speaks about flowers. Anyone would like to guess what verse that might be? Very good, yeah. So this is chapter 9 of the Bhagavad Gita, text 26. We can all say together. Patram pushpam phalam toyam yo me bhaktya prayachati tadaham bhakyuparitam ashnami prayatatmanaha. Word for word. Patram, a leaf. Pushpam, a flower. Phalam, a fruit. Toyam, water. Yaha, whoever, may, unto me, bhaktya, with devotion, prayachati, offers, tat, that, aham, I, bhakti uparitam, offered in devotion, ashnami, except, prayata atmanaha, from one and pure consciousness. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace. A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. If one offers me with love and devotion a leaf, a flower, a fruit, or water, I will accept it. Purport. So we're only going to read the first paragraph of the purport. For the intelligent person, it is essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. The challenge is with Srila Prabhupada's purports, they're so amazing that you could just stop after every sentence, probably in between every comma, and just explore the depth of what Srila Prabhupada is saying. So I felt like maybe I just read that sentence. We could speak the whole time. So I'm going to read it again. For the intelligent person. So anyone here is intelligent? You won't raise your hand, but we know you're all intelligent. Otherwise, you wouldn't be sitting here, right? For the intelligent person, it is essential. Prabhupada uses such powerful words. Essential to be in Krishna consciousness, engaged in the transcendental loving service of the Lord, in order to achieve a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. So although we often hear that we're not really in Krishna consciousness, we're not really looking for anything, well, Prabhupada here seems to be saying that if you're intelligent, you want to be Krishna conscious, and that means to be engaged in the service of the Lord, and in order, you're doing it for the purpose of achieving a permanent, blissful abode for eternal happiness. Then Prabhupada explains the process. He says the process of achieving such a marvelous result is very easy. Everyone here agrees the process of Krishna consciousness is very easy? Very easy. And can be attempted even by the poorest of the poor without any kind of qualification, which is really good for someone like me. The only qualification, so he just says there's no qualification, but he says the only qualification required in this connection is to be no, that's not correct. To be a pure devotee. So the only qualification required in this connection is to be a pure devotee of the Lord. It does not matter what one is or where one is situated. One just has to be just a pure devotee. There's no qualification. Everyone here, but you're all pure devotees. Yes, no? Not. And we all know remember the incident where Srila Prabhupada was asked, Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there? His disciples said, Prabhupada, how many pure devotees are there? And what was Prabhupada's answer? He said, only one, me. Yes? Was that his answer? That was not his answer, no. His answer was, he said, how many disciples do I have? And they said, but Prabhupada, we're not pure devotees. And then he gave the analogy. Anyone remembers the analogy that he used? A mango. He said, a mango is a mango. And they were like, Jai Prabhupada. And he said, whether the mango is green or whether the mango is ripe, it is still a mango. And he said in the same way, a devotee with pure intention, although they may not be perfected in pure devotional service, is still a pure devotee. And as long as they remain connected to the tree of bhakti, to the tree of devotional service, then eventually they will become a pure devotee in perfection. But at present, they are pure devotees in practice. So congratulations, you're all pure devotees. Although, of course, devotees don't feel like pure devotees, but there you go. That's the sign of their perfection. So then Prabhupada continues, the process is so easy that even a leaf or a little water or fruit can be offered to the Supreme Lord in genuine love, and the Lord will be pleased to accept it. No one, therefore, can be barred from Krishna consciousness or banned from Krishna consciousness. Even someone who's banned can still practice Krishna consciousness. Because it is so easy and universal. Who is such a fool that he does not want to be Krishna conscious by this simple method and thus attain the highest perfectional life of eternity, bliss, and knowledge? Krishna wants only loving service and nothing more. Krishna accepts even a little flower from his pure devotee. He does not want any kind of offering from a non-devotee. Anyway, I'll finish there. The purport is very beautiful. I encourage you all to read it in your own time. But just in the matter of time, we will discuss a little bit. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, stop sharing. So I was thinking about hearing from Prabhupada here and also different things, how this our festival is actually a festival of unity and diversity. It's a festival of unity in diversity from beginning to end in every way, shape, and form. The flower in general is symbolic of when you see a flower, what do you think of? How do you see a flower? What do you think it's symbolic of?
A gesture of affection for someone.
Beautiful. Yes, a gesture of affection.
I once asked my mother, "What good are flowers? You can't eat them." She said, "God made flowers so we can use them to show somebody love them."
Wow, that's beautiful. Yes. So, yeah, a child might think, what good are flowers? You can't eat them. Give me some chocolate or give me a toy. But no, flowers are made as an offering or a gesture of love. Beautiful. What else do flowers represent? Beauty, but yeah, you were saying something? Beauty. Yeah, so flowers also represent beauty. What else are they symbolic of? Purity. Okay. Flowers are a symbol of purity. Fragrance. Yes. Flowers are a symbol of fragrance. When you see a flower, you think, ah, yes. Actually, one thing that a lot of the guests who were coming, especially the new guests, it was hard to, they're plucking flowers and they all kept saying, God, it smells so wonderful, but so hard to say, you're not supposed to smell the flowers. Of course, everyone's sitting there smelling the aroma. You can't miss it, but it's not there for us to enjoy. But yeah, of course, in Kali Yuga, someone puts a flower up to your nose, and what does it smell like? Buddhist perfection. It smells like nothing. But yeah, what else do flowers symbolize? I can't believe no one has said it. What I was thinking. Gems? Gems like jewels?
Spring?
Beautiful. Yes, that's it. Yeah, gems of Kali Yuga. Yes, spring. Thank you so much. Flowers in general are a sign of spring. And what does spring usually represent? Life. Krishna, yeah. Spring is like birth. We had this saying, or my wife says it all the time. Life finds a way, no matter what it is in the middle of the most desolate situation, life finds a way. I remember in Chaupadi, I forget the name of the book. There was this one book when they were coming out, when Tulsi books first started, and there was one revival, I think it was called. And it had this picture of a desert, and there was like this stick, and on that stick was one little sprout. And it was like the perfection of like how life just finds a way. And spring is often, we're coming into spring now. I was just walking in that park along the East River the other day, and already there are little flowers, these white flowers coming up. And I was like, just see, what are they called? Yeah, that might be. They might be crocuses. Yes, that's right. Yeah, crocuses. So yeah, flowers are a sign of rejuvenation, of life, of like moving, matra sparshashta kunteya, shitoshno sukha dukkha daha, that the non-permanent appearance of happiness and distress are like the winter and summer seasons, and spring is a sign that, it's like Mother Earth offering to the sun, to Surya Bhagavan. It's like, here's an offering of a flower. And if you go anywhere, well, I noticed here and when we came to New York that almost attached to just about every bodega or shop is like this flower hut. Flowers is very, very popular here. Everywhere you go, there are flowers for sale. And you find flowers are used for birthdays, flowers are used for Valentine's Day, they're used for anniversaries, and they're all, as Adi Purushpuru was saying, they're all offerings or gestures of affection and love. Even in Christianity, on gravestones, flowers are ornamenting the gravestones. We use them also in samadhis. The flowers are used in everything. Any temple in India, you enter the temple, outside of the temple is a big flower stall. We used to do that at Janmashtami outside of So Street, just on the street. We would set up a big table and we would make flower arrangements for people to purchase, and they would come in and we would just fill up the altar with all these flower arrangements. So like that, it's just a natural, every day the deities are offered fresh flower garlands. They're made with love and devotion and offered to the deities every day. And then also in the puja, in the worship, flowers are essential. And there's just such a sign or symbol of life, of love, of affection, like this. So, people also make garlands. In many different cultures, they make garlands like this and offer them to people, dignitaries, when they come. So like that, they're all use flowers as such a powerful instrument of expressing or showing our affection and love. So there are a few verses. Actually, we were discussing the other day how this Pushya Abhishek ceremony started. And Radhanath Maharaj in one lecture explains that it was actually a bit of a mistake. It was a bit of a misnomer, because the word Pushya, he thought it meant Pushpa, and they said, let's have a Pushpa Abhishek, and then they kind of started the festival. But Pushya actually doesn't mean flower. It means to nourish or nourisher, and it's actually a different kind of program. But they started it, and it became so popular to shower the flowers. Now, there are so many quotes from the scripture also describing the showering of flowers. In the purport to the Bhagavatam 10:27-25, Prabhupada says, the demigods took the lead in glorifying the Lord and covering him with an amazing shower of multicolored, fragrant flowers. And then there's actually a letter I was interested to find from Prabhupada to Danavir, now Danavir Maharaj, from Delhi on 20th of November 1971, where he states, I am very pleased that you are making arrangements for the first annual Pushpa Abhishek Yatra, parade and festival, 1971. And if he is free to come, Vishnu Jan Swami may come and lead the kirtan and preaching. This is a good proposal. Krishna was just a toy in the hands of the gopis. So one day the gopis decided that we shall decorate him. Pushpa Abhishek means a ceremony to decorate the deity profusely with flowers, ornaments, and clothes. So like this, Prabhupada gave the instruction to have Pushpa Abhishek. So many instructions. Bhagavatam again, 10:41-29. Their lotus faces blooming with affection, the ladies who had climbed to the roofs of the mansions rained down showers of flowers upon Lord Balaram and Lord Krishna. So like that, so many examples from the scriptures, quite a few more. So over the last couple of days, there have been varieties of devotees coming and from the community to render the service of, we were calling it depetaling the flowers as opposed to plucking, because plucking sounds a little like plucking. So depetaling the flowers. And it was nice to be here, and today more devotees will come. But it was nice to just see, as we were mentioning, this unity, a festival of unity and diversity. And there were devotees, different ages, different backgrounds. I remember the first day we were sitting around and some devotees, there was a devotee from Colombia, devotee from Russia, a devotee from Italy, devotee from Harlem, devotees from England, devotee. There were people from all over India. There were just people from all different backgrounds, all different walks of life, and all just sitting around plucking these flowers, depedaling these flowers for Krishna. So all of this unity, but everyone's from diverse and different age groups. There were even very young people, older people. There was just everyone, men, women, new, senior, everyone was just coming together to perform this simple service of depedaling flowers. We had brahmacharis, grihastas, we had vanaprasthas, didn't have any sannyasis, but not formal sannyasis. Prabhupada was here, yes. So like that, so many devotees were coming together. So actually, in this way, all the flower depedaling was done in diversity, but all in unity, because everyone is trying to depedal the flowers for this ceremony, engaging their bhakti, because actually it's not the flower that Krishna accepts. It's not the flower that Krishna accepts. I think I remember once having this deep realization when I was offering a mango, that actually, what does Krishna want with my little mango when there's a heavenly planet that has mangoes the size of elephants? And I'm offering this little pathetic mango. It probably is like so artificial in so many ways. Krishna, imagine, we were discussing about the Parijata flower and the Parijata tree, and Krishna went and took this tree from the heavenly planets, and so all of these things. But what is it that Krishna really wants? And in this verse that we read today, the word bhakti is mentioned twice. Such emphasis is given that it's not the thing. It is the consciousness behind the thing that we're doing. Just like Maharaj said to me once, it's not what we do, it's how we do it. How we do something is so important. The consciousness that we put into the activity is what's meant to be there. Like often we hear that, like when we take prasad, we're meant to honor prasad. We're not meant to eat prasad. We're not meant to gorge prasad, or we're meant to honor it. And Srila Prabhupada set the example that often when he would take prasad, he would sit in a corner facing the wall, Shrutakirti Prabhu tells, and he would honor each item, and he would sit and just be in meditation. Now, in the same way, actually, whatever we're meant to be doing is meant to be done with Krishna consciousness. It's meant to be done in a consciousness of Krishna. And in that way, our different efforts, although unique and individual, are also still unified by our consciousness of trying to do it. As Prabhupada says in this famous letter to Atreya Rishi, that the devotees of the Lord, they may be different in so many ways, but they're unified by their desire to please Krishna to the best of their ability. So to the best of our ability, we're trying to, and all the people were coming together and plucking these flowers. So in the spiritual world, the simplest things, the simplest activities actually become the most qualifying, or can give us the most devotion. And it's described that as the cowherd boys would walk through the forest with Krishna, they would just pluck flowers off of the trees or off of the bushes, pick up little branches or leaves or flowers, and they would decorate Krishna with just the simplest things that the earth was offering. It wasn't anything extravagant in one sense, but it was all done with so much love, with so much affection and so much bhakti. There's a place called Pushpavan. Where's Pushpavan? Pushpavan. Huh? It is. Very good. Yeah. It is a forest of flowers. Pushpavan, like Vrindavan is the forest of Vrinda. Pushpavan is right near Kusum Sarovar. And Kusum Sarovar, those of you who know Kusum Sarovar, Kusum is a flower. Sarovar means lake. So it's the lake of flowers. And this place, Pushpavan, is where Shrimati Radharani goes, not where she did go or where she would go. She goes every single day to pick flowers to make garlands for Krishna. And then when she meets Krishna later at Radha Kund, she offers him this garland. This is happening every day. Every day, Radharani, the supreme devotee, and Radha Kund, which is the topmost sacred holy place on the planet in the world, Radharani is going there and offering Krishna a garland from this Pushpavan, this beautiful place. So this act of offering flowers is actually, it's an eternal activity. Like we hear that bhakti is not only a sadhana or a practice, but it is also the sadhya. It is the perfection. So in the act of offering flowers, and this evening there will be so much offering of flowers, in the act of offering these flowers, there's so much love. It's the perfection. This is what's happening in the spiritual world, what we're doing, chanting the holy names each day. This is done. Sewing. Every day I'm watching Adi Purushpuru either sewing or making garlands, and I'm thinking, this must be what he's doing in the spiritual world. But actually, then I realized, no, it's not what he's doing in the spiritual world. He's already in the spiritual world. It's what he's doing. It's the perfection. With every stitch he's hearing. I'm amazed how we have Prabhupada class, and I'm thinking, how is he going to say anything when we take the break after 10 minutes? And then he remembers everything that Prabhupada said. So his consciousness is not on like, how can I stitch this up? Of course, he is paying attention to the stitching. Otherwise, his finger would be full of holes and blood. He's trying to stay awake. That's what he said. But every stitch is done with love and devotion and bhakti. So like that. So this is the consciousness. And every flower, like in the garlands, like in this garland, there's so many different colors, so many different fragrances. I mean, these are all carnations, but sometimes you have varieties of different flowers, and they all get strung together, just like tonight. There will be so many different varieties of flowers. So again, this diversity, but they're all going to be unified as an offering of love to the Lord. So I was hearing one lecture where Radhanath Maharaj was speaking about this principle of the garland. Some of you may be familiar with the garland making lecture that he gave, which I presume was motivated for a specific reason. but he says in that, imagine if all the flowers on the garland started fighting with each other. Thinking like this yellow flower here, see that yellow flower? That yellow flower thinks, I'm the best flower. I'm the best flower in the garden. And this one thinks, no, I'm the best flower. And this one says, shut up, I'm the best flower. And all the flowers are thinking they're the best. And they're just fighting with each other. And you put that on Krishna, how's that going to affect Krishna? He'll laugh. Yeah, it's not going to be very pleasing. It's like, and he said, better you make a garland out of thorns and put it around the Lord's neck. So the idea is that each of these flowers knows that they're complementing each other. They're working together to please the Lord. So in the same way, all the flowers that have been plucked, they may be different. And Maharaj often talks in the class that he gives while people are plucking flowers that you may be thinking, oh, I plucked all these flowers. Oh, I was plucking the pink roses. And then when the pink rose, because actually anyone who's a pujari, has done pujari service, you know, you do not take darshan of the Lord on any day as intensely as the day you dress or the day you made the garlands. You're like, ooh, just zoom right in. It's like, because you have a personal kind of involvement. So it's easy to become a little proud in this way. But actually, Maharaj, he says, if you want to be great, there is no place for you in Goloka or in Vaikuntha. If you want to be the greatest, he said, there it's a society. It's a society in Vaikuntha, in the spiritual world, where we think everyone else is better than me. Let me serve them. Let me harmonize with them. Let me work with them. This is Vaikuntha consciousness. Srila Prabhupada uses that term again and again. This is Vaikuntha consciousness. And that pleases Krishna, not egoism or selfishness. Anyway, there's so many things to say, but we're getting short on time. So I guess we'll stop here and open it up. If anyone would like to have any reflections or questions, anything. Okay.
Yeah, and the flowers are offered with love. And we had a visitor, Native American medicine woman, grandmother Parisha. And she said, Wakantanka, the Great Spirit, he's giving so much, And then she said, I see your ceremony. She's talking about the Artik. And all the aspects of the creation are given by Wakantanka, given by the Great Spirit, and we offer them all back. And she said, I see you're offering there something fragrant, the incense. So there's the coming in the air and the breathing. And then there's fire. You're offering the ghee lamp, which is fire, and it goes in the eyes and it has heat and warmth. And then you're offering the cloth, which is cotton, which comes from the plant kingdom, and the flowers are from the plant kingdom. And you're offering water, which is another element. And you're offering the conch shell, which is from the ocean creatures and from the sound vibration. And you're offering I was amazed. I didn't think like that. She said, and you're offering what else do we offer? The yak tail, which is from the four-legged, called from the mammal, she's noticing that all the varieties of things that are offered for sight, for smell, for touch, for taste, and the fire and the water and the ether and the different varieties of animals, creatures, all for the glorification of the Lord and with love. I was like, wow, I saw it differently, which I didn't really think about before. So it's kind of interesting. We offer everything with love for Krishna, and Krishna is pleased by the love. The gift of the giver is one thing. The intention of the giver, the consciousness of the giver is something else. Like Shastra says, if the cooker is angry, the anger goes in the food, and people eat that. If cook is worried, the worry goes in the food. So we purify the consciousness. We worship, we pray, we study scripture to purify the consciousness. We cook with love and offer it to Krishna. Well, glorious to Srila Prabhupada, who's teaching us how to be loving beings.
What's the Great Spirit's name, Adipusha Prabhu?
The Great Spirit.
The Great Spirit's name.
Wakantanka, the Great Spirit.
Wagantanka.
Wakantanga. Okay, I see Manohar Prabhu is taking notes. Very important, Manohar Prabhu. To refer to the Great Spirit by their name.
The Great Spirit is Ananda Bihari.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Dear devotees, it's time for you to shine, please. Temple room. Manohar.
Initially, I was thinking about I don't know if this is so much apt, but in Damodar Lila, when Mother Yashoda was chasing after baby Damodar and that flower petals were flying out of her hair, I think one of the acharyas gave the commentary of their mentality also, like someone wanting like, oh, this is too much dramatic, let us, get out of the situation, so they're jumping out of her hair, and some are like, we're weighing down Mother Yashoda, we have to help her catch Damodar, so they're jumping out of there. And some are wanting Krishna to be to escape, and so they're in anxiety and they're and so just came to mind how the transcendental position of even a flower petal in the spiritual world.
Yeah. Everything in the spiritual world is animate and with consciousness and has their own unique consciousness. Each flower was even thinking a different thing and why they were jumping off of Yashoda Devi's hair. Beautiful. Anyone else online would like to share anything? Okay. So there were some other things. So this point of Patram Pushpam, again, going back to this verse, unless someone else had something? No?
It's just one really. Radha Swami explaining how sad it would be if the flowers were fighting. The gopis were the most exalted and intimate servants of Krishna. But as soon as they thought, oh, we're better than everybody else, then Krishna left them. As soon as I think I'm better than any other devotee, that spoils the whole offering, right?
Pride cometh before a fall. Actually, there was one other thing that was mentioned. Yeah, connection with flowers and garlands, and also because it's coming up to Gaur Purnim, Lord Chaitanya. So the appearance of Lord Chaitanya, that Lord Chaitanya, through the process of Nam Sankirtan or Prem Sankirtan, he garlanded the entire world. Lord Chaitanya garlanded the entire world with this Sankirtan. So it's like a garland around the entire world. And Sankirtan means all together. So we're also trying to create a garland that together gives pleasure, the greatest pleasure to Krishna. So we're coming together, and tonight there will be Sankirtan. There'll be lots of chanting, and there'll be these beautiful flowers. Actually, I got one of Krishna's hairs here. Yeah, flower. That's pretty auspicious. Huh? So poor Krishna must have got pulled out of. So yeah, so this evening we'll be coming together in order to chant the holy names and also create a garland and an offering. So this idea of unity and diversity, that all the diverse voices come together, all these different voices come together and create one beautiful voice of an offering in Harinam and Sankirtan. And all the flower petals that were individually depetaled and plucked and picked, they will be offered by different souls onto their lordships. Yes, Jamuna Jaya is here in person, the Queen of Smiles.
It's a line. I was just thinking that the Flower Fest was making me think of years ago. It was my very first trip to India, my very first day. I was at the Flower Festival in Chapadri, and just this is the first thing we did. We landed. They took us to the bus. We detailed. Then we got dressed, and then I was very, very new to Bhakti then, and I was just sitting there watching the showering of love and watching Radhanath Maharaj and Damodar Maharaj take up flowers and throw them at each other like they were kids at a snowball fight. And I was so new to Bhakti. I'm like, this is just awesome. And this thing, it was just such a playful, beautiful expression of joy. It just hooked me. So I'm just remembering that today and hoping that for anybody that might come today for the first time, that they have the experience that I had.
Yeah, very beautiful. That's that mood of the mood of a child. We become like children in the service of the Lord. Okay, so time for deity greeting. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Ki jai. Spiritual master, we live by which you can obtain pure devotional service. About those who speak great honor. By His grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified and the virgin maidens in the Lord's mouth. That takes those fears, actually the feelings of all desires. He opens my darkened eyes with the heart returns with the knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From Him ecstatic prema emanates, and by Him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing this character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor and master of the devotees. Oh, Master, be merciful to us. Forgive us today and be lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet. Jai.
Thank you, Jai Nitai Prabhu.
Hare
You
Krishna.
look very festive today. Hare Krishna. Welcome to the Afterglow, dear devotees. Your smiles are like flowers in the forest of Vrindavan. Pushpavan. This is our Zoom Pushpavan. Pushparaj, Bhima Prabhu. Do you have any flowers on your farm yet? Do you like Bhima Prabhu's new nickname, Pushparaj?
I like that. King of the flowers.
Yeah.
That makes me feel wonderful. That's marvelous.
Good.
Um, it would be important to note that apparently these flowers are conscious on Krishna's garland, and that the gopis, I don't know, did he already say this? The gopis are jealous of the flowers, just like they're jealous of the lips, jealous of the flute, which always rests upon Krishna's lips, is that the flowers always have their arms around Krishna's neck, and they're constantly kissing at the bottoms of his earlobes, and always hanging off his lips, and also hanging down over his chest and resting upon his chest. So we can in no wise think of these flowers and the flute herself, actually the flute is a hymn, as being less than the gopis themselves, considering their respective positions upon the intimate contours of Krishna's body, whether it be his neck, his cheek, his shoulders, or his lips. Hare Krishna.
Very poetic, Bhima Prabhu. Thank you.
I can't raise my hand, but I want to say something.
Anandi in Vrindavan Dham, please.
Yes, so on the banks of the Yamuna River, they have pavilions that always have fragrant jasmine garlands on them. And when you get to the bank, they make you take off your shoes. The banks of the river are very sacred. And I also wanted to say that I really miss the Bhakti Center. You guys are so lucky that you can experience the flowers, the Pushpa Abhishek. Cherish it, because there'll come a day where, like me, you won't be able to do it maybe physically, but you'll have to do it mentally. So mental worship is a great thing too. I'm not in despair. I just offer mentally, you know, mountains of jewels, mountains of flowers. It's a great practice, and there'll come a day when that's all you can do. So cherish it. I wish I was there.
Thank you, Anandi.
I mean, I'm in Vrindavan and wishing I'm at the Bhakti Center. And when I was at the Bhakti Center, I was wishing I was in Vrindavan. So
That's
that's
good. That's Krishna consciousness. That's how it works.
yes.
Anandi.
You
Anandi,
guys,
you are transcendental.
no, I don't think so. But I really miss the Bhakti Center. You guys are very lucky. Cherish every second.
Thank you, Anandi.
Mother
Adipusha Prabhu?
Kalini used to say about the pea that didn't make it into the samosa. So if you're making samosas, you know, the pea that didn't make it into the samosa, that poor pea was, you know, it didn't get offered to Krishna. And she said like that about the flowers. Like sometimes we're like, oh, this one's not very good. But, you know, that flower is just like really, it's like made it all the way to the Bhakti Center. It's like so nice that every petal is going to be showered on Shishi Radhamurli and Gaurachandra. Hari Hari Bol.
Thank you, Krishna Kumar. Yeah, every single petal will be thrown in the face of a jubilant Vaishnava or Vaishnavi. Adipusha Prabhu, are you coming? Yes, no? Bring angel.
We really want to congratulate and appreciate the devotees. The Brahminical contribution is to engage in worship and also include others. introduce them into that discipline and that experience of worship. So this is a festival that includes people in worship, and there's all kinds of worship. You look at these football teams and rock stars and different personalities that receive praise and applause for their music or their athletic ability. And even like if you go to other, we were stationed in Malaysia, and there's a 12-hour long parade called Taipusam. It's a worship of Kartikeya, Lord Shiva's son, and people perform all kinds of austerities. They put spears through their cheek and hooks on their back, dragging a cart or things. They perform all kinds of worship in the mode of ignorance and passion for some kind of selfish reason. It's not worship of Krishna, and it's not love. It's some kind of greed. And we were in Kaohsiung, and I turned the corner. We were collecting to obtain the Bhakti Center building, engaging people and giving donations. And I turned around one corner, and there was this gigantic altar with a offering table that was like 6 blocks long in front of it, and it was a worship of Yamaraj. And on the first table, furthest from the altar, there were 100 dead chickens, and then on the next table before the altar, there were 75 dead sheep, and then there were pigs, and then there were cows, and they were offering all these slaughtered animals worship to Yamaraj. So there's a lot of kind of worship going on, but this one is very sweet and done out of love, and it's for Krishna. So we appreciate the devotees that are engaging in Krishna worship and inviting and including other people in that experience. Thank you.
Ananda Bihari, did you
Yes.
notice how much he said and how he didn't answer your question of whether he's going to the flower festival or
I
not?
shook my head.
He shook
Is
his
that a
head.
promise? Are you actually going to show up to a festival?
I was there already.
Okay, you're going to come again? No, you weren't there already. Are you going to come again when they throw the flowers?
Whatever you want, I'll do it.
Okay, do we all vote that Adi has to come to the festival tonight?
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
sign
Yeah.
him in. I'll sign him up.
Okay.
Yes.
And is that your word, Adi, that you're going to go to the flower festival?
Why not?
Okay. Okay.
Thank you for concern for my spiritual life. I'm just a phone.
I want to see flower petals all over that bald head of yours.
Your wish is my command.
Jai. Yeah, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam. That is our vegetarian verse. That is what Krishna accepts as an offering, and that's what we should offer with love and devotion. Jai. Would anyone else like to speak? We can take one more contributor. Who else is coming? Namrita Kishore, are you coming today?
Yes.
Jai. Hemangi, are you coming?
No, Prabhu, I will miss it.
Okay, we'll try to. There will be a streaming going on, so we'll share the link in the group.
Sure, Prabhu, that will be great. And please pray for me.
Anandi, Hemangi, always, and you pray for us. Okay, so with this, we are going to turn the floor over to Sammy. Sammy Long, please turn on your camera, unmute yourself, and say Hare Krishna. This will be the conclusion of our yagya for today. There she is. Unmute yourself, Sammy.
Hare Krishna. Mwah.
Very sweet. Thank you. Thank you for the kiss. Hare Krishna. Happy Saturday, dear devotees. Come again tomorrow. Hare Krishna. Happy Pushpa Abhishek Festival. Bhima Prabhu is having a hay festival. That's a good start, Bhima Prabhu. Don't feel discouraged. Hare Krishna.